Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the AntonioTalks talk show. I'm today doing 2 shows in a day, so it's not that I wear the same t-shirt over and over again or shirt over and over again. I've done 2 shows. So the previous show was literally a couple of hours ago. We said it was 7 p.m, it was 11 a.m, and we were still drinking beers. It's now 2 p.m, 2:07, and we're drinking Diet Cokes and gin and tonics. But I have a great guest on who I've always wanted to meet ever since I started recruiting. Remember, we had that first conversation, and we were discussing possibility of partnering together. Today I have a great person on the show, and our first external woman on the show, which is amazing and a milestone for me, because it's great to have someone from the opposite sex on our show that isn't in our business. So really lovely to have you on. Hannah Keep, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Hannah, how are you?
I'm very good, thanks. How are you? Especially with the gin.
I know, it's nice, isn't it? This vodka Diet Coke is really going down nicely as well. After I had a falafel. Have you ever had Pil Pal? Pil Pal, it's a really nice falafel place up the road. So I've been here like literally a week since I got back from, so it's been like 2 weeks since I've been back from holiday, and I've gone there like 5 times.
Already, right?
So yeah, I've got my loyalty card, I'm ready. So Hannah, really good to have you on the show. I think the best way to start, as always I ever do with anyone, is I speak to them around their experience first of all, but they have to tell the world their story. So tell the world who you are, Hannah, and what got you to this moment to be on this show, to sipping G&Ts with Antonio.
Well, a few things, I think. I've been in the recruitment industry for 21 years. Really scary.
Amazing.
To get rid of my grey. As a recruiter, as a manager, and then as an independent trainer for the last 15 years. How I got here specifically today was pressing a button on a post and then pressing a button on an email to you, because there was a topic that I was passionate about and wanted to come and have a chat about.
Yeah, amazing. So before we get into that, I really want to know sort of your experience in the recruitment industry, because a lot of what we talk about on this show is around the recruitment industry and I suppose the experience people have had. So we've had a couple of people from, owners of companies to managers of people. So I understand. So what do you do right now, Hannah? No, I know, obviously, but what do you do right now for the benefit of the audience?
Yeah, specifically work with billing managers to get the most out of their teams. So whether that's developing their actual management capability and then helping them getting the best performance out of their people. So a lot of that work can be changing the culture as well of the organisation. Sure. Because that does also impact, obviously, performance.
So 21 years, how has the culture changed? So you're going in now speaking to billing managers, probably like 27, 28 year old people, and they've probably been in the industry like 5, 7, 10 years, maybe less. So how are these managers now today compared to the managers that were, when you first started in the business?
When I started, and I'm ex-S3, and it was a tough environment. We were thrown into the deep end. Actually, sometimes I think that is the best way to learn. But we all worked very hard, and they got the best out of us. Yeah. So management, I think there was good, but it was tough, and we were monitored very heavily in terms of our activity, which actually I do agree with. But maybe there's always a balance. I think what happened is when people worked in that kind of environment and then maybe went to set up their own businesses, they kind of thought, well, actually, I don't want to be that tough. Because perhaps that environment isn't going to get the best out of my people, and they maybe come too far the other way. And so what's happened, I think, is that people aren't really held account enough sometimes for their performance. We've gone a little bit too far the other way. The other side. And I'm not.
That's awesome.
I'm not here to talk about KPIs, but you're in a sales environment, so you do need to measure.
And so when you go in, so how candid are you with the people you're training around this? So are you saying, look, we need to measure people?
Yeah. You do. People need to know what's expected of them. They need to know when they're not doing well. They need to know when they are doing well. And if there's nothing there in place, you can't reward either. Teams do fail if there is no measurement in place. They also fail if there's no role model in the business. But what I will say is the biggest change is the people coming into the industry now. They're very, very different. They're a completely different generation without getting into generalisations. They're motivated in completely different ways. I think that's where managers do struggle, because they need to use different ways rather than the old school ways.
So let's talk about those ways. So let's go. So tell me a bit about, so when you entered with your peer group at that time, or when you first got your first job in recruitment industry, what were you guys motivated by?
I think.
And obviously this will be, by the way, just FYI to everyone out there, this is a generalisation. Yeah. Also, it's personal opinion, so we're able to express that. And some of you may disagree with this, some of you may not. So look, that's fine. We're human beings. So, but let's just get into that. That'd be great.
I think the classic answer to that would be money, but actually the real answer to that is success. For me, I wanted to be the best that I could possibly be. I'm highly competitive, and if I'm going to do anything, I want to be the best at it. So that was kind of what I was motivated by, but also the possibility of what that would do for my future, because the carrot is there to run your own business, be a business owner, and having the commission and those rewards was enough.
Yeah.
Now we still have all of those things, but still, people aren't motivated by that. And for me, I think.
Why do you think that is?
I think they're used to more short-term rewards, and I think that's also a lot of where we are today in the world.
Yeah.
Everything is there, an instant.
Yeah, exactly. You can swipe left, you can swipe right.
Yeah.
Who's on Tinder at the moment in the office, guys? Anyone on Tinder? No one wants to admit it anyway. That's for sure. Actually, is everyone in relationships in this office? Liam, are you in a relationship?
Yeah, why?
Just asking.
Asking for a mate.
So no one's on Tinder. What a good office we have here. Fantastic. Well done, guys. Are you on Tinder, Hannah?
No.
FYI, I'm not either. But I missed that boat. Do you know what I mean? Like I was in a relationship pre-Tinder, so that whole boat, I don't understand the whole concept of it. And when I hear stories from other people, I'm like, does that actually exist? This type of
like. I'm not. I'm going flick, and it's actually swipe. I think.
Yeah, flick. That's a different thing. So
well, it's all instant, yeah. So it is all
instant.
Whatever you want instantly, and I think
even down to like the sort of our expectations of like before you'd have accepted just a coffee. Now you want macchiato, whipped cream, one top with caramel sauce, decaf, but not too much decaf. Maybe just weighted with 50 grams.
People do half shot decaf, half shot.
See, and so But I'll tell you what that is, and we spoke about it in the show, and we tapped on it a little bit before. It's all around everyone's, because we want to differentiate ourselves. Yeah. We're all trying to create this personalised experience now. So these people that are these people that are coming through, and they want everything instant. Do you think we need to create a personalised management program for new recruiters, if you will?
Possibly. I think maybe it's about setting expectations at the beginning about what recruitment actually is, making sure that you're joining it for the right reasons, because it takes time to be successful. You've basically got to look at it as your first 12 months in that job is going to be tough unless you're coming into an established desk. It's going to be tough. You're building, so if you work for a smaller business. It's all about developing that and helping them grow it. So stuff isn't going to come straight away. So you've got to have the patience. But if you stick that out 12 months plus, you will see the rewards.
Yeah, and it's always that 12 months plus, isn't it? It's so crazy. But I think even any business, any role, anywhere. I don't think it's just recruitment. I think it's anywhere. You like that first year when you're trying to get off the ground, or you're trying to be something, or you're trying to build your personal brand, you're trying to get your brand out there. They're always the most difficult. That's always the most difficult time, because no one knows who you are. No one knows the value you can add. You start building your case studies, and then you get in there. And the same within a company. You start building your clout. You start building your chops, and then you can go into a different area. You can work with a different client. Yeah. And the thing is that we're all too impatient today. Yeah. So we go, when things fuck up, we just go, oh, well, it doesn't matter, because I can just go work somewhere else, or I can just go do something else, or I can go down a different road. And there's this really cool Facebook meme. They tell me off for saying mem. It's meme. I know, but that's it. I mean, look, I'm. There was this really cool meme or meme, whatever, going around, and it was like about a relationship, and there was this like 90-year-old couple, they were asked how have you guys stayed together for so long, and there was the meme said that we just learnt to fix our problems rather than just dispose of them and go and get something else. We just dispose of things today rather than trying to fix it or trying to better ourselves or trying to just overcome hurdles, because it's easier to not overcome that hurdle. It's our pride says it's easier to do something else, but then you start from the bottom again.
Yeah, well, that's what you do, and I think it is about pride, rather than say, actually, it's me that's part of this problem, what do I need to do to get over that? It's not as, oh, it's the agency that I'm working for, this market's tough.
Everything else, yeah.
Oh, look, now I'm the senior recruiter, look,
I know.
Experience. I'm a senior recruiter, brilliant, but I'll bring the same problems with me.
And then, exactly, and then you're still, it's the honeymoon period, those first 3 months, all great, it's a new desk, a new realm, but actually you're still facing the same shit because you are not able to just overcome those hurdles in one place.
Exactly,
and that's why these job hoppers happen.
Yeah.
But I think it's not actually just recruitment. I think if you look at the world we're living in, as you so rightly said, there is an element of impatience. And even if I think about where I am today as the business owner of Recruited, and the team we have, and I think about how far I've come. I've been in the recruitment industry 7 years, but even before that, I was training to be a CEO. And I wasn't trained to be a CEO. Before that, I was working for Apple for 5 years and customer experience training. And that has now led into the stuff we're doing in recruitment experience training and all that type of things. And the way Apple were as a company, agile and very fast, and then worked for Accenture, and the way it was in terms of volume of hiring and all that sort of stuff. And all these things were stepping stones to get me to where I am today.
Yeah.
And I do feel like that we are not looking at the value we're getting from the moment, but we're actually just looking at, well, this is a bit uncomfortable now, so I'm just going to do something else.
Yeah, I agree. But actually, so if you can get through the uncomfortable bit, you'll find successes on the other side, because that's always the way.
Yeah.
People just give up just before they get to that point.
Exactly. Come into the microphone, because I want to make sure all your content is heard. Do you want to pull that microphone out a bit, Dylan, just so we can make sure that Hannah's...
I don't want to pull it too far.
So let's talk about... so there's that, obviously. There is that element. But if we look at the other side, what is it that we need to equip people with in order for them to become successful? Because we can say that, there is that element of... you need to have the right mentality to be successful in whatever you do. You need to make sure that you can overcome hurdles.
Yeah.
But what is it that we need to equip people with? I'll ask you first, and then I'll jump in afterwards.
It's a really difficult question, and I think if we knew the answer to that, we would be able to reduce the turnover in the industry tomorrow, which I think is currently about 52%.
If we could bottle that, we'd be all right, wouldn't we?
Do you know what? Yeah.
Let's try and figure out that formula.
Seriously. It's a tough one. I think when you interview people to come into the industry, you should be looking for resilience instead of competitiveness, especially if you're a
What do you mean by that?
Well, traditionally we'd always look for, competitiveness, someone who wants to be the number one. They're going to succeed in recruitment. It's part of it today. Actually, you need someone who's just going to survive every day and come back tomorrow, and keep going and not give up.
Yeah.
So you should be testing for that. I think you can build resilience, because resilience actually is a skill set. So once they've learned how to recruit, I think we should be building in techniques, self-management techniques, state management techniques, personal effectiveness techniques, so that people can manage this as well as this.
Exactly. So what would you say that why is resilience important in any job? Why do I need to be resilient?
Because you get a lot of shit thrown at you.
Life is tough. Exactly.
Whatever job you're in, life is tough. And you have to
so what makes do you think the younger generations are I'm going down here. Do you think the younger generations are less resilient?
I wouldn't want to generalise. I don't think it's that they're less resilient. I think they're just less patient.
Yeah.
Perhaps, and I think we need to teach them the value of building something and taking that time to build it, rather than pressing Amazon Prime and it being on the doorstep tomorrow.
I know. But Amazon Prime is a great
it's
tool.
It's amazing. I'm addicted to it. I've got to keep away from it. Anyway, but it takes time to build something, and actually, you wouldn't want to build. Well, you might want to build it tomorrow, but you want to look back at all the steps along the way and what it took you to build. That's where the story is.
But the thing is, you build that. So the reason, and I'll say this again, the reason why Recruited has done so well, it's not because we've done it in 8 months. It's because the people in this business have been studying for years, and we've been working our asses off in different realms for years to come to this point where we come and amalgamate it all. And all that time has now made this shoot up very fast.
Yeah.
But actually, you know, it hasn't happened in 8 months. It's like, you know, a game isn't won on the field, is it? It's won in all the sort of training you're doing and all the development you're doing, all those long nights, those, you know, sort of those the sacrifices you've made.
And what you need to learn along the way.
Exactly. And those are important too. So lessons, and I think we forget from my perspective, I think people forget the process.
Yes.
The journey.
Yeah.
The process is the most important thing, not the destination.
You're absolutely right. And you know what? People that actually get success quite early on in their careers in recruitment, let's just say like 3-4 months, they win a great client and they, you know, do loads of business with it. They haven't actually gone through that process.
Of rejection, or of like where deal like $100,000 deal has fell out or something like that.
And then what can happen is 18 months in, when they lose that client or things aren't so great, they find it very hard to then bounce back because they had it so good so early on. And also managers thought, well, this person's got it. I can leave them to it. Happy days. Next new starter, please. But actually that person hasn't really learned everything they needed to learn. That's
a good point, actually. And so when you see success earlier on with people, you tend to think that they could be... or they're okay, they don't need that development.
No, but actually they do. They need that. And the problem is they may not think they need it either. Cause it's like, well, I'm all right at this. Actually, I'm pretty good. You know, you can leave me alone, and you know, but actually, no. That's when they need the time.
Amazing. So let's talk about this mindset type of thing.
Yeah.
And I think I keep getting this call from Warrington. Warrington keeps trying to contact me. I'm not happy about that. If you're trying to contact me, send me a text. And I'll tell you if I'm going to get back to you. So let's talk about this. I think one thing that we really wanted to connect on was this. It's not an idea. The real important point around mental health, and mindset, and how, you know, I think mental health has always been an issue. And even Amanda and I, when Amanda was on the show, we discussed this before. Mental health has always been an issue, but it's really, I think today, because of the nature of communication, the nature of tools that we have to be able to put information out there, I think more and more people are coming out onto saying, actually, you know, this is an issue and I have this issue, or this is something that we need to be raising awareness of. And no one's really had that outlet to communicate before, because our main outlet of mass communication was press, and press would only
pick up the bad stuff.
Exactly. So let's talk about this, and why is it important to you that this is an issue that's being discussed constantly?
Yeah, it's always been important to me, because as a performance coach, I've been trained in the techniques around how to help people bounce back and be more resilient. So, you know, and as a coach, that is what I am driven by, really, is helping people be the best that they can be. You know, family and friends wise, you know, we've lost people. You know, in that situation, and you know, personally, I went through an experience myself where, it was very, very tough. So, so it's a subject close to my heart for quite a few reasons.
Great, and thanks for sharing that. And I'm really grateful that you've come on the show and you are talking about this. So let's go into this in terms of we can only talk about the recruitment industry because that's where we are. How much do you think mental health is an issue in the recruitment industry?
And I don't know the answer to that. However, I do know recruiters who aren't unfortunately here anymore. But I think, you know, I don't think you could say that's necessarily recruitment. I think recruitment is a tough job. I think that you do have to be able to deal with rejection. But some people take that as a driver. Some people love that. They absolutely love that. They love rejection. They love that challenge. I think if people aren't naturally resilient and they have that challenge day in, day out, and then maybe have some stuff in their past as well, I think that's possibly where it can get tough a bit.
And do you think that so in that regard, the roles need to change in the recruitment industry? Because, you know, some people are good at like the delivery, some people are good at the BD, and they are that resilient, and they can become that sort of, like for instance me, I am not happy unless I've got rejection or I've got chaos going on and happening around me. That's my happy place, right? Because I love to overcome it, and I think that those hurdles are really important. However, I know that not everyone's like that, and I do know that there is amazing people who are just great at delivery, you know, and they're really good at the candidate experience. They're really good at keeping hold of the candidate, and they know the market, and they're good at understanding the whole landscape in terms of a skill or a specific profile, what number of clients will need.
Yeah.
So the roles in recruitment, there's this. Do you think it's changing and there's a curve now going into more of a sort of specialist delivery BD, or do you think that 360 model, which has been prevalent in the past like 10 years, maybe now it's starting to change, of course, but the 360 model, or maybe even prior to that, you tell me, I've only been in the industry for 10 years, so what are your thoughts on the roles of recruitment?
I think the roles are right. I think you just need to choose the right role for you, and I think as an agency, you need to choose the right person for the role based on their strengths.
But do you think that there's a how many skills gap, Amanda, is it in the recruitment industry? A skills gap. There's like 22,000 jobs not filled in the recruitment industry, is it? 22,000 jobs not filled in the recruitment industry at the moment, right? Which is basically recruiters that, aren't recruiting, basically. So there are 22,000. Do you think that the job in its own right is not a desirable job?
Yeah, I think maybe it's not branded enough as desirable. I think, unfortunately, we've still got a negative perception, which we need to really work on. Need to really, really work on that. I work with the Institute of Recruiters, and our mission is all about transforming how the industry is seen. I hope in 20 years' time that people actually are proud to say they are a recruiter. But I'm not sure they are right now.
Ian, what do you think now? Will that happen?
What happened, sorry?
Will people in 20 years' time say they're proud to be a recruiter or want to enter the profession? Ian's got a very strong view on recruitment.
I think it's definitely changing, isn't it? It's a lot more
It's changing.
consulty now.
Yeah. And you say you're in talent acquisition, that might sound a bit better.
Well, that's it.
We'll give it a different title and it's all
well,
good.
that's it. My guys aren't recruiters, they're talent experience managers.
There we are.
You know?
Yeah.
But the thing is, and that's because there is a wider problem, and it's previously, we're off the pangs of just, chuck a load of shit at the wall and hopefully something sticks, because it was viable, and that type of methodology wasn't done. So people were like, even if I was a client, I'd accept that. Yeah, okay, no, loads of CVs, great. But now it's like the same type of people that are impatient are in those client roles, and we're talking about these same types of people, and they're receiving all this shit, and they're going, look, this is wasting my time. We're all time conscious today, right? So that whole experience is the most important thing. But then that also means that how do we use that technology to make sure that the experience is great too? And I think there's something about, can technology even replace understanding whether this person's right for a role?
I think it possibly can, as psychometric testing, can't it, which tests for strengths and personality traits. For sure. I think, but to anyone looking to join the industry, look at the business that you're joining and make sure that where they are in their journey of growth is right for you. Because if you're coming in to do a new business role and that agency has not got many clients, basically your life is going to be a life of objections for the first a year to 2 years. So
how do people deal with rejection? So rejection's but the thing is, rejection, no matter how many times you receive it, it's always painful. And I don't really and I'll try to understand this in my head, when I get, and I'll do my own campaign, and I'll sort of be contacting people, obviously selling our services.
Yeah.
Even when I get, say, 3 people who go, yeah, this is great, let's book a meeting, and I get one person who says no, my day's ruined.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm fuming, but I've had 3 great clients who said yeah, or potential clients who said yeah, let's have a meeting. Yeah. But I've got one no, and I'm like, well, why?
Why is that no?
Why?
Yeah.
What is it about me? And so, do you think?
But do you think what is it about me, or what is it that I could have done differently?
No, I think, what is it about me? Honestly, I do, and I know it's nothing to do with me, but I internalise that shit because I care about it. But I know I shouldn't be internalising it, and I should just be seeing it as more of just this is just a numbers game. And when I think of it that way, it's great. Yeah. But I guess it also depends on how your situation at that time. Yeah. Because if you need to make those numbers, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, then it hurts a lot more.
Then every no is a fucking dagger.
Exactly.
Whereas if you're right, you're good, you've got stuff going on, then no's all right, well, no worries, I'll go to the next one. No, go to the next one. So how do we manage that?
I think it is about trying not to take things too personally. and look at everything as a learning opportunity. And that sounds like it's really easy to do, and it isn't easy to do, but you don't really have any choice, because you can look at that setback or that one meeting, or maybe something you put on social media and not many people liked it, or people slated it or whatever, and you can take that personally, and then you can be pissed off about that for like the next day or whatever it is, or you can look at it and go, it is what it is, which is my favourite phrase.
What's your experience with social?
It's changed a bit. I used to love it. I used to do loads on LinkedIn. I used to have a group on LinkedIn. I used to do quite a lot of discussions and stuff. And I don't know, in the last year or so, it became a bit negative for me. It felt a bit like people were... obviously disagree and stuff, that's absolutely fine, but I think it's the way they were doing it, and it felt, some of it, a bit personal. The attacks were a bit personal, and I just thought, you know what, I can't be bothered. I'd rather just share stuff with my clients and add value that way than put it up there and deal with a torrent of abuse. I just I can't be bothered.
It's an interesting space, isn't it? Like
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
It is at the moment.
And I mean, I don't know if you look at my my stuff, but like every day it's always like, and some of them are attacks, some of them aren't. Some of the people just saying their opinion.
Yeah,
There's always
it's fine.
someone, though, isn't there?
But there's always something.
someone.
There's always something. Someone who just, I could put out, like literally, I could put out a post right now of just say writing in a book, and someone will take their blood. But why are you using that pen?
Why are you using that pen?
Is that sustainable? Is that sustainable? And you're like, so. But the thing is about it, and we often have this debate, and it's all around. Well, you gotta wonder sort of what motive people have to do that, and also because I'm a firm believer, like online especially, if you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say anything.
Well, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what my nan used to say. If you
Yeah.
don't have a nice to say, don't say anything. And so often, these. But I'm so used to it now, and the more I do it, I don't even care. I don't read the comments. If I see where it's going, I'm like, oh no, I'm like head in the sand type shit.
I know, but you know what? For recruiters starting out, and and I cover this in my training. About if you want to be seen as that specialist, it is about promoting yourself, but doing it in the right way, and not just posting job adverts and stuff. But they say to me that they don't want to do it for those reasons, or that they don't know enough. And I said, well, you don't have to know everything about your sector, and you know everything about recruitment, obviously, but not, just post something. You post a question, post some thoughts, but they don't want to because of this.
The thing is, it's all about the whole judgment, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's it. It's judgment.
So
it is.
Ian
judgment.
and I were talking on a train in New York around how, in the future, like I think what needs to happen now is like there needs to be education online.
Yeah,
so,
that's a good point.
how to deal with online, how to deal with that, because bullying doesn't just exist in on the playground. It doesn't just exist, in the alleyways. It's not just little Antonio, going over and stealing someone's lunch money. It's like, these things are like things that happen in the workplace. It happens online, and it happens consistently. And there are people, and you can see it also. So I've got this. So I often get every month I get a different troll who comments on a couple of posts that month. And so now I've got this one person, and he's like, I love most of your stuff, but some of the things you're saying is off point. How the fuck is it off point? It's only off point because you're not understanding the point. Like that's it. Like, and that's all it is you don't understand my point. But that doesn't mean it's off point. But it doesn't mean your point's off point either. Your point is just a point. Everyone's got points, and we're just pointing in different directions.
Good point.
And thanks. Thank you. So the point I'm trying to make is that people mistake online with, or people mistake other, their newsfeed with like media that they can, that's harassing them, or they mistake it with things that like a newspaper, for instance. But actually, it's just someone else's opinion.
Yeah.
And that's all it is.
Yeah.
So if I watch a movie or if I watch a documentary, and if it's biased or non-biased, that's just opinions being put out there. If I read OK magazine, it's just opinions, it's just facts around certain things. All I'm doing is putting opinions out, and that's the thing about I think your people who are saying that they're scared of the judgment. They just need to put their opinion out there and stand by it.
Just do it.
Because at the end of the day, what is a man or a woman? What have they got? If not themselves, then they have not. It's my way song. Yeah. Anyway, that's what I'm saying. So this whole judgment thing, where does that stem from? Where does it stem from? Why don't we want to be judged?
Gosh, that's a deep question, isn't it? But yeah, I think it is. We do have that need for acceptance, don't we? We do want to be accepted by our peers, by the world. But is that judgment from others, or is that judgment
Are we judging
from
ourselves?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Exactly. This is the question. You know, my dad texted me this morning, and he said that the biggest battle we have is with ourselves.
Yeah. We are our biggest competitor.
And why? And so,
You versus you.
huh? It's you versus you, exactly.
You.
And I think most of the people, with reason, because we're taught to, even I think also, as a parent, I do it to my kids, like, don't do that, don't do that, and it's really bad.
I know, it's really hard
I'm like,
not
no,
to say don't.
exactly, don't do that. But actually, they're just exploring, you know. Sometimes I think when I put Leo to bed afterwards, I'm like, why did I tell him not to do that? He's just exploring the garden. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's all he's doing.
Yeah.
And so why won't what is it that's in me that's stopping him from doing that?
Well, you want to keep him safe.
You want to keep him safe.
That's presumably where it's coming from.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. But at the same time, we grow up and we're taught that don't do too many things that are outside the box. Just be a good boy or be a good girl. Do this. This is what good means.
Yes.
And then you grow up with that sort of, and then you go to school and you've got to fit into a box. You've got to tick the boxes in terms of your, the exam criteria. Then you leave school and then you go into university, the same, tick boxes. Then you go into a workplace, and what good looks like is what the agenda is for that business. And so we're constantly don't want to step outside because we're ingrained in us to be conditioned to do a certain thing. And so if we could do more of the non-conditioned stuff, what do you think that would mean for the world?
God, wow, endless possibilities, I think, because everyone would just be a lot more creative.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be a case of can't, it's how.
See, I'm a personal believer in, and I see it from two ways. I think from a business point of view and a business owner, you need to do certain things and you hire people into certain roles. But from the other side of things, I think that where creativity, where people are given the expression and the freedom to express themselves and be creative, I think great things can happen. And I think we need to, even myself, get better, and even many businesses, even especially in the recruitment industry, is to not set people to these KPIs that are just redundant and don't serve anyone. Tell them to be creative around what they do. Go. Like these people who you see who have put a CV or they've got a load of CVs and they're standing outside fucking bank station saying I'm looking for a job. Like that's creative. That's creative way of looking for a job. Yeah. So why don't we implore our staff to be more creative online? And how can you be more creative online?
Well, I think if you did anything apart from just post job adverts, you'd be being creative at the moment in recruitment, wouldn't you? Because that's pretty much a lot of what you see.
Exactly. And so, in terms of your experience with, getting people to come out of their comfort zones, how have you found that?
I think it depends on that person and how fixed their mindset is and the beliefs that they have as to how I could answer that question. Yeah, because some people do have a lot of limiting beliefs. We all do, but some people do have more of a fixed mindset, and this is how it's always been, and this is how we should be doing it, and they fear it being done in a different way.
And so is a lot of the stuff that you do, you go into businesses and you don't just help with the management, but you help with sort of more psychological, who I am, how I can approach things, and is that what you do?
It can get into that, although I won't tell my clients that, but with some of the one-to-one coaching it does though, because if you get to a certain point and you are holding yourself back, there's going to be a reason there. So once you understand what that reason is, then you can move.
Do you think people hold themselves back a lot?
Yeah.
In what ways?
By believing something isn't possible, believing they can't do something, believing that it isn't possible, even losing motivation really for what they're doing. But I think you can think you've lost motivation, actually you're just scared sometimes.
And how equal is the industry? Like, how much of an equal playing field is it?
In what way?
Just in general, just like, does everyone have the ability to, be a top biller, Dan? Does everyone, or Danielle? Does everyone have the ability to be a top biller in their business? Does everyone have the ability to own a company in recruitment? Does everyone have the ability to have, 7 offices worldwide?
I think that anybody has the potential to do anything if they want to work hard enough and long enough to achieve it, personally. Because if something isn't a strength, then go learn about it, or bring someone on board whose strength it is. You can have anything you want, you just got to want it enough.
Yeah.
For long enough to get over the setbacks along the way to keep going.
Yeah.
That's it.
I agree. I absolutely agree. Do you think that in the recruitment industry it's going to be in the future, it's just going to be a load of one-man bands? Or do you think the recruitment company is going to thrive?
No, I think they will thrive. I think they will. Some might not, but I think the big businesses will thrive as long as they keep evolving, and not stuck in the past.
Yeah, but I mean, so I'm just going to play the other side here and just jump out and say, if you have a look at like Airbnb, you have a look at Uber, you have a look at these companies that are doing sort of more, just you can self-employ people just selling their house, or they're just a cab driver, and obviously Uber has its own flaws. We all know that. Airbnb has its own flaws. Interesting conversation with Ian and I the other day. They were saying that Airbnb have stuck with a lot of legislation issues, so it's going to be very difficult for them to. Ian, what was your thing around Airbnb?
So basically, like anywhere around the world, there's going to be lots of reasons why they wouldn't want Airbnb to be there, because it pushes up the rents. So like governments and local authorities around the world are trying to ban Airbnb.
Yeah.
So that's why they're trying to diversify into other things like experiences.
Yeah, that's great. So Airbnb are basically, what they do is they're pushing up rents, in certain locations. So there's a lot of legislation going to come out that where Airbnb won't be able to survive there, because what it's doing is taking away the locals, which means that you're going there to have the experience, but actually, it's like if you go to central London, it's not central London as it was, like even 10 years ago. When you used to go to a gig in Astoria, I don't know if you know Astoria.
In Astoria, yeah.
Or Mean Fiddler. Do you remember Mean Fiddler?
No.
Yeah, that was another venue just there. Like, these real cool rock and roll venues that just don't exist anymore, been taken down.
Yeah.
So that's not London. That's gentrification, and actually similar. So I think I'm diversing, but so with that in mind, if I'm a recruiter, what's the benefit of me working for someone when I could just earn the cash myself? Because
I don't think everybody wants that, or is actually suited to just working on your own. I mean, I work at home a lot, and I'm an extrovert, and sometimes I like being at home, but I miss actually being around people. But others kind of like structure. They like working as part of a team. They like the recognition of working in a team.
Yeah.
When you work with a business, there's process, there's stuff done for you. You don't have to do everything that isn't your strength. So
Safety.
Safety.
He's from Newcastle. You can't understand him. We'll put a translation on there. Don't worry.
So subtitle that. Safety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Carlisle, Newcastle. It's all the same, isn't it?
Well, it's not really, is it?
I'm going to get Ian and Dylan on me in a moment. Safety is an absolute big thing too.
Yeah, security.
Well, I think that if you give them the right platform, I think that it's all about the right platform. And if the right platform exists, then people will do the gig economy type thing, you know, and recruiters will work for themselves. But it's got to be the right platform.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how you think recruitment is going to change. So you must spend a lot of time in agencies, right? Mm-hmm. So you've seen it change. What do you think the future of recruitment looks like?
I think that it will, and I hope, become a lot more about the candidate experience, and I think it is already. I think that marketing and obviously technology are going to feature even more than what they already are. I think someone really building their personal brand, which I know is a topic that you're talk about a lot, is absolutely vital.
Yeah.
But giving back, I think, actually giving back to the industry in some way and creating a legacy will become really, really important. I mean, there's agencies out there that saying candidate short sector is looking for developers. So, then they'll start a developer school, bringing people in.
Recruitment agencies that are starting development schools.
That's cool.
Are they doing that?
That's cool. Look up Code Nation.
Are they a recruitment agency? Really?
Yeah,
Well, they start as a recruitment agency?
Yep.
Good team. Great. Code Nation, we're coming after you. I want you on the show. Great. Awesome. Yeah, I think giving back is a key thing. I think it really builds into that community, right? Whereas what we've done is, if you think about 120 years ago, or 100 years ago, or even 200 years ago, whatever it may be, but where would you get your meat if you were trying to go and buy meat for food?
Man at the end of the road.
Butchers, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You'd go to the butchers and you'd know him, you'd know his family. Dean, let's just for instance, and you'd go to Dean, you'd be like, yeah, and Dean would have it ready for you because he knows every week you're coming in for that type of thing. Where would you go to get your bread?
Bakers.
And you know the baker, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And it'd be the baker just round the corner.
Yeah.
You'd have gone to his Christmas party.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you'd have got a bit too drunk. You know what I mean? Made a fool of yourself, but he still would give you an extra bun. Where would you go to get your fish? You go to the fishmonger that you know. You go to people that you knew back in the day, and this was like 200 years ago, right? But then what happened was that industrial age hit, and then it went into the sort of corporate age, and now we're going full circle to people will want to go to who they know, and and it doesn't matter if you live down the road or if we've got Dean over there. I hope he's still not alive. If he is, then he's the world's oldest man. But if you've got Dean over there who you know, but you don't know him, you don't need to know him. You just know him online. Because what we've done, social has done, is it's brought us into this local economy back again. So we want to go to this recruitment agency because we know they're good, because we know them and we see their content all the time. We feel like we know them.
Yeah.
I had one of my clients the other day. I called up and I haven't spoken to them in like 3 months because I don't do the client services on social. It's not my area anymore. But he was like, I feel like I haven't spoken to you in 3 months on the phone, but I feel like I've seen you every day. So I feel like I've been with you every day, and because he's seen my content every day, right?
Yeah.
So this is the whole thing, and we have gone from a local to doesn't matter who provides us, if we go to Walmart or Asda's or whatever, it doesn't matter where we're getting our food to, actually we want to get our food from the people we know now, and the highest rated, because we know that they are good.
Yep.
And so that's do you see the connection I'm making there?
Yeah. And
this is like what I think is really going to be taking prevalence into the future, which is this whole, we've got to be accountable for ourselves, in terms of a professional or our company, in terms of a professional context, and the experiences we're offering our clients, because all it takes is, if Bob goes and if I go to Bob, or if I go to Dean, and Dean's giving me like some gone off meat, I'm going to go tell everyone in my village.
Yeah.
I'm going to go tell everyone in the village, and the village are going to go, oh, fuck's sake, Dean, I can't believe you did that, mate. I'm not coming to you for food until you sort it out. And then Dean's got to build up his repertoire again, right?
Yeah.
And this is the same thing. It's like, if I give a bad recruitment experience, who am I going to tell? I'm posting it out online, and 5,000 people are seeing that.
Yeah.
If I give someone a bad technology experience or customer service, I'll go to Twitter and I'll fucking put that out there. It's because we've gone to that, it's gone full circle.
Yeah. Good reviews as well.
Yeah, obviously good reviews,
people are
but
less
good.
likely to
They are less likely to write a good
something.
review. Yeah.
You only do things when you're annoyed.
That's actually false. That's actually false.
Is
Our
it?
platform is built on mainly good reviews. There was we'd probably get every 9 reviews would get 9 good reviews would get 1 bad.
Yeah.
And actually, so people want to celebrate each other. We want to be able to give each other, and especially in England, because we don't like telling each other bad things.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? We'd much rather someone have something on their teeth, sitting there we're smiling away with something on their teeth, but we won't tell them. We're too polite.
I would,
Yeah, I mean,
I feel bad about that.
I'd probably wait a little bit and then tell them.
Because then I think that I was really mean for not telling them.
Yeah, exactly. And then you get a bad review.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, what are you up to right now then? Tell me a bit more about what you're doing and how's your business going?
God, business is good. Like, it's kind of difficult to explain what it is that kind of I do, because I don't just do one thing. I've got my own client base that I'm out doing my leadership and management stuff. I spend a lot of time with the Institute, so I head up their online training. And also their level 3 team leader supervisor apprenticeship programs. So I'm out doing all that kind of stuff, and I've got my coaching, and yeah, I'm kind of like here, there, and everywhere.
How do you manage it all?
That is a very good question. I think I'm the most organised person in the world, but I just work really, really hard.
Yeah.
I do work. I'm sure everyone does, but I work really hard. I work a 7-day week to get it all done. But I love it.
So as someone who's a young child,
Yeah.
you know, a mother of a young child,
Yeah.
and the reason I say a mother is because, you know, there's a stigma, obviously, you know, with obviously mums being in the workplace and whatnot. So, well, what are your thoughts of working hard as a mum?
Well,
By the way, I fucking
Yeah.
I think all to you. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is amazing that you.
I'm a single mum as well, so it's
Go on.
single mum, self-employed. Bring it on.
Exactly, making it happen.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard, and you know, well, any mum that works, you know, you drop them off, and you're like, oh, I feel so terrible. I did that earlier. Even now, 2 years on, I'm like, oh, she was crying as I left. But at the end of the day, I'm teaching her that, you know, if you want to get on in the world, you work hard, and I hope I'm going to teach her the right values. And yeah, you know, it's not. People should just do what they want to do. If you want to stay at home, that's fine as well.
Cool.
Do you know what? I think that if I had my daughter at home every day for 7 days, I don't know, I'd probably be having a few more of them.
Exactly.
It's hard work.
It is hard work,
Work is easy compared to a 2-year-old.
Yeah,
easy
exactly.
peasy.
Yeah, that's it. And I think, but it's all around just do what you want.
Just do what you want to do.
Exactly.
Do what
that's
you want
it.
to do.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
previous news of a previous day. Let's get into this. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry got married. I don't know if anyone knew about that.
Dad, mate.
Did you know that? Did anyone else know that Meghan and Prince Harry got married? No? Ian, what did you do for Meghan Markle's and Prince Harry's, or Princess Meghan and Prince Harry's wedding?
I got the first train out of London.
Why?
Yeah.
Was it busy? I wasn't here.
Well, no, I don't know. I went to Newcastle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they don't get.
Too many Wallies wearing stupid hats.
What did you do for the wedding?
Watched it at home with the little one, yeah. Yeah.
What did you think of her dress?
Oh, I thought it was very elegant.
I
Just
just
like
thought
her.
it was nice.
I thought it really suited her, actually.
It was actually
Yeah.
a lovely dress.
Yeah, really suited
Do
her.
you know there's like 200,000 people in Windsor?
Was there?
Oh,
It looked
100
lovely.
to
It was a
200,000
lovely
people in
day.
Windsor.
Love Windsor.
What did you do for the wedding, Dylan?
What day was it? Saturday?
Saturday, yeah.
I went to the beach actually.
Went to the beach.
I had nothing to do with it.
What, the Stone Beach?
Alright,
Shingle Beach?
it's better than the beach, you know.
Oh, exactly. It's better than. Yeah, well, it's too right. It's better than Southend Beach, eh, Amanda?
There's been new news as well.
What?
New news. What's that?
New-
Since you've been.
Ooh.
So Harvey Weinstein has been charged.
Charged.
Oh, so he's been
with
charged.
sex offences after handing himself into New York.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah.
That's just why we've been doing this.
Yeah.
So Harvey Weinstein. So he's handed himself in.
No, I think that's referencing back. Oh yeah, actually.
No, he handed himself in. They hadn't charged him, though, but they said they were going to charge him. But they obviously have now, then.
What?
Yeah, he's handed himself in. But
Good.
Yeah.
What a sick bastard.
Yeah.
I think everyone agrees.
Oh, he
That-
actually went to the. Oh yeah, so it was to the
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Right, let's talk about something a bit more positive here, Dylan, for fuck's
Yeah, I
sake.
was just saying something just popped up.
Do you know what I mean? Debbie Downer.
That is positive.
Dylan Downer.
Oh, whatever.
So,
Hang on.
what else we got?
What's he got? Danny Boyle to direct the new James Bond film.
I don't know who Danny Boyle is. Do you know Danny Boyle?
He did Trainspotting, didn't he? Trainspotting?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. That's a good memory, actually.
I don't know. I
So
don't.
You must have some good news.
Right, okay. Let's look at it.
That's brilliant news.
So there was what I like to do is let's go to a bit of alternative news and have a look at what's going on there, because that's really where the good gold mine of stuff will happen. So the Young Turks Festival, yeah, everyone all right with that? Do you know the Young Turks? They're an online YouTube channel. So, oh, for fuck's sake, more bad news. Morgan Freeman accused of sexual assault. Not Morgan Freeman.
That came out yesterday, quite bad.
Yesterday.
He's done quite a lot of it, apparently. Well, allegedly.
Oh my God,
That's
that's
news.
ruined my day.
No, he's such a great actor as well.
It's ruined my day.
Apparently, it's not very nice to work with, though. I've heard.
Really?
Not from close personal friends, but I've heard.
Are you sure?
Edward Norton, yeah.
That has ruined my day.
Edward Norton.
Okay, so that's that. That is just it.
That's it.
That has ruined my day. Morgan Freeman, the last
Edward
bastion.
Norton isn't in 7, is he?
Has Edward Norton done something now as well?
No, he's not. Well,
He better not have.
I hope he's in another films.
That's it, I'm out of it. No, look, really good to have you on the show.
Loved it. Thank you.
It's been really great. What are your thoughts on the format of the show? I've been asking people this because we want to be able to better it, so I want to find out what your feedback is.
I think it's great. It's just informal, isn't it? Like, I mean, obviously you don't forget that there's like 2 cameras and a microphone in front of your face, but the way you do it, it just feels like a chat, and that's what it should be. It shouldn't,
Exactly.
You know, you're not coming to present, are you?
No, that's it.
It's lovely.
But you didn't bring your slides, did you?
No, and I didn't even look at my notes.
Did you manage to cover everything you needed to?
No,
Do you want to go into it?
no, that's fine.
Great, awesome. Well, brilliant show, great show. I think this show, when's it going out?
Not Monday coming. Not Tuesday coming, but the Monday after.
Monday. After that. Well, but the thing is, we've got
Monday,
2 other next week, so
Yeah, we're gonna have loads.
you're gonna have to do 2 a week.
You said that. I ain't got time.
You just
24
put
hours in a day.
you just put a meme out today, around 24 hours, geese.
There you go.
No, all right. Well, look, it'll be out. Let's make no bones about that. Really great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for coming on.
More women.
More women on the show, please. Oh yes, that's exactly. Thanks for reminding me. Brilliant. So this is a call to all the women in the industries out there. We want you guys on the show. I'm sick of interviewing men. Yeah, I don't really want to look at men all day, all the time, and Dylan all day either. So let's. Well, I mean, look, I don't. It's just a bit too. It's just there's too straight opinions. I want different opinions, diverse opinions on the show. So if we could get anyone who wants to come on the show who is a woman and you want to come on the show, we want you on. So come on.
He has gin.
I have gin, exactly. Thank you.